is fake. He's been tweeting about it. It's like, deal in place. Should be announced any day. I'm like, fuck you.
Twitter's a funny place.
Well, I heard they got the offer out there. It's just he's waiting it out.
Jake, you like you dodging punches. Trust the Process Live, a very special 76th edition of Trust the Process Live. So because of that, we're going to focus predominantly on the Sixers today with a little bit of college basketball sprinkled in there with our man Daryl Reynolds, former Villanova Wildcat.
Yeah, baby. Hey.
Thanks for having me, man. Thanks for having me.
So let's get right into it, though. Anthony Davis this morning reportedly wants to be traded.
Get out of here.
Is there
Late
anyone?
show, baby.
It did happen. It did.
Come on over.
Is there anyone on the New Orleans roster that you think would be a good fit for the Sixers aside
I'll
from
take
him?
Davis.
Well, of course,
I'll take like Markelle for Davis.
29
right?
other teams would take Davis.
Well, the resident Lakers frontrunner over here. I know.
Listen.
He's going to end up a Laker, so tell me if
Correct.
you're Magic, what do you offer for him right now?
Right now, you got to give up Kuzma. You got to give up Ball. You probably have to give up Ingram. You know you're going to have to give up KCP to make the money work, and probably a pick. If I'm him, I do the deal just because you add Anthony Davis with LeBron coming back healthy, with playoff Rondo, who we've seen. It makes them a legitimate contender in the West. They could actually play with Golden State with that.
If you want a title run for 4 years with LeBron,
That's what you do because now he doesn't have to have the pressure of having to drop triple doubles every night.
But New Orleans is going to wait it out. I think it makes sense for them to wait it out to
they
get
the better
Boston
deal.
in the mix. You're going to get LA's going to offer the same shit in the summer that they offer now, right? And then you get Boston in the mix, maybe Philly, maybe the Knicks, whatever. And whoever has Zion, we don't even know who's the number one pick yet.
Touché.
Zion is the guy they should want more than anything because they'll control his rights for 9 years. That's who they should want.
That's agreed.
In terms of the Sixers, though, Davis isn't going to happen for us. People like to say Ben for Davis. I don't think it happens. But what we could do is, if they are intent on moving Davis and being bad now to get a better pick, right, process-like, Mirotic fits perfectly here. He'd be a stretch four. We could offer them, not that they want these guys, but salary-wise it works, Muscala, Patton, Korkmaz, and 2 seconds or our late first or something to make it work. For them, they get a little worse, gets them a better draft pick, and their owner saves money, which she will like. So to me, I'd make that offer for sure, and I think it would be great for us.
Daryl, anyone who you think? Drew Holiday, Mirotic is a good guy as well.
About to say, you took it right from me. I say bring Drew home. Like I said, a guy who understands the culture. Drew is a guy who's been here before, so he knows this about. Obviously has no problem putting up points, but he can also push the point if need be. So I figure, bring Drew home. That's
Drew's
one
great.
more veteran presence in that locker room.
He's like what we hoped Markelle would be, or what Markelle should be. Like Drew's very much like that.
Yeah.
He's not. I just don't see what we can offer them to make it work. So. But I would be
way
sign me
too
up for
much.
it.
Way too much right now.
If we could do it, sign me up.
Fair enough.
I know, E.T., you mentioned Julius Randle. I also think.
Yeah, I think, the Sixers need a 4. Like, Wilson Chandler is a great 3-4 years ago. Like,
on the
No,
bench
he's a bench
now.
player.
Right.
And listen,
If
at
he
this
played
point-
18 minutes a game and could conserve his energy, he'd be awesome.
At this point in his career, Corey Brewer is giving you more than Wilson Chandler.
I'm with you.
It's not saying anything. Like, you want a guy that's going to be able to contribute on both ends of the floor. Julius Randle's a double-double machine. Granted, he and Joel play that kind of similar role down in the paint, but Joel also likes to shoot threes half the game. So it wouldn't be as bad as people think.
I was at that game. Randall is a beast.
He's a beast.
He is a monster.
I was mad he left LA,
Joe
but he's a
really
dog.
couldn't even keep him out of the
He's a
paint.
dog. He can do what he wants.
So while we're kicking around hypotheticals, let's put yourself in Elton Brand's shoes. You're the Sixers GM, and before the deadline, you have to make one move.
We are making a move.
Who are you going out to get if you're Elton Brand, and who are you giving up to get that person?
I will tell you what I think about this an inordinate amount of time for someone that does not get paid to do this. Here's the best one I can come up with. It's realistic. It makes sense for both teams. The money works. Everything works for it. I would offer the Atlanta Hawks, Wilson Chandler, Markelle Fultz, Patton, and Korkmaz to make the salaries match for Kent Bazemore, Taurean Prince, Vince Carter, Dwayne Dedman. What that does, it's all their end of their contracts for Atlanta. So they're not parting ways with anybody they would keep except Prince, who's cheap. But for them, they give Prince, they get Markelle under control. And so for them, it's a good gamble because Prince is kind of limited. Like, his upside isn't there. He is what he is. He's 25. He's going to be a rotational role player, 12 and 5, a couple assists. A good player, but he's not what Markelle could be. The other guys, they're going to part ways with anyway. They want to be, again, they want to be the worst team in the league. They want a good draft pick. For us, it gives us 4 players we immediately add to the rotation. So that's a little dangerous in terms of the team dynamics and the minutes. But, you get a backup big for Embiid. Devin plays those 12 minutes that Embiid doesn't play. Bazemore is the immediate starting wing. And then Taurean Prince is your first guy off the bench. With Vince Carter as like the vet leader, he's going to come in and hit a big shot in the playoffs. To me, that's like a great trade that I would look into. It's a big one, though.
It's a big one, but the only problem I see with that is why would they want Markelle Fultz?
Because he still has the upside. Taurean Prince, you're
Markelle Fultz
only
has
going to get what
zero
you're going to
value
get.
in the NBA.
I don't agree. He was the first pick of the draft 15 months ago.
He can't play.
I'm with you. He can't play. But what if he's actually injured and then he can play?
If he could play, he'd stay here. He can't play.
But you know what? Even without being able to shoot, he's as good as Taurean Prince. He is. He's still.
I can't take a guy who can actually put a ball in the hoop at the NBA level consistently versus a guy who can't shoot.
What do you think as a player?
I think the same thing happened with Joel Embiid when he first got in. It was a bunch of doubt if he could play, if he would make it back, and we was like, listen, we're going to stick with this guy. Obviously, none of us regret that. So no, I don't. I agree with you. I don't think Markelle was done. I don't think it's necessarily as a Sixers fan, you just give him up.
Right.
That doesn't really make much sense.
But how about for a deal like that? If you add 4 guys like that to a team that can go to the finals. I mean, I think if we add those 4 players, we can go to the finals.
No. I think you keep that young core together on the Sixers. If I was him, to be quite honest, I wouldn't make a move right now. What you have going with the Sixers right now is good, and there's really no need to mess that up. This summer, I would see him going after like a Trevor Ariza or somebody like that. Give us some length out on the wing. A guy who can shoot the ball, but obviously play defense. It's kind of hard to figure out what exactly the Sixers are lacking, but I don't think making a deal. Yeah.
Perimeter defense.
Perimeter defense, but it seems to be something a little off, and only time is going to tell. When that one piece gets in, it's going to be like, oh, that's what it was this entire time. But for right now, I say you make no moves. And a deal that big, you're shaking up that team so much, it could throw off the whole chemistry.
I got one more for you that's a somewhat smaller deal, and maybe we can get one of these guys as a buyout, although I don't think it'll happen. Teams are getting smarter rather than buying their guys out. They're trading them. Call the Chicago Bulls up, offer them Chandler. It's a money thing. I wish we can keep him. But Chandler, Patton, Korkmaz for Robin Lopez and Bobby Portis. Lopez plays when Joe's not on the court. That's
like
a great
Bobby
backup.
Portis.
And Bobby Portis is a stretch forward.
And he's playing behind Lauri
He's
Markkanen.
young. You can actually re-sign him. He's a restricted free agent. To me, that one makes a lot of sense. You'd have to give them probably a late first or like a couple seconds or whatever, but I like that offer.
I'll tell you why that deal makes a lot of sense. I like Bobby Portis coming in. He was the starter until Lauri Markkanen came in. They didn't expect Lauri Markkanen to be there. They got him where they got him, and he just outplayed Portis, and Portis now comes off the bench. But he's got
Forty on the
starters.
Sixers.
They have,
Right.
They have Markkanen and they have Wendell Carter, so
Correct.
Like, they don't
they
need
have
Portis
no
long
spot
term.
for
That is a trade that makes sense.
Ton of sense.
Wow. I mean, that kind of X's out Mirotic, I guess. No Mirotic if you have Bobby Portis, who broke
Of course, but
That
I
is
would
true.
take
Yeah, yeah,
Bobby Portis.
I guess he can't be on the team, but someone who, just like Markelle Fultz we were talking about, some thought we're done. Now he's back. Mr. Corey Brewer.
Hey, another
the
10
Spark
days.
plug. Do you think that he's earned, you say another 10 days, do you think that he's earned a contract?
Listen, at this point in his career, sign him up for the rest of the year. Like, nobody's kicking the tires and break down the door to get this guy, but what he brings is high energy level. And the way he guarded, he got in Harden's head. Like, just, people love that. They love the blue-collar, hard worker guy that's willing to get his nose dirty. He's been that way since Florida. He's been that way throughout his career. He's never going to be a 25-point-per-night scorer. He never was. But he'll give you, 8 to 10 points, quality defense, and a lot of effort.
I don't know why we didn't do it earlier. We had the open
Agreed.
roster spot, and he's playing good minutes for us. He's going to have a role in the playoffs. He's going to be like the 9th man, 8th, 9th man.
Yep.
I like it.
All right, so moving on, the All-Star game is coming up, and Joel Embiid was already announced that he's going to be one of the starters.
Should be the first pick for
So he's
LeBron
dominant,
or Giannis, whoever has
but
him. He won't be.
the question is, how many Sixers will make it, and how many Sixers should make it?
I'll go first just to present you the options, and then we can all kind of go through it. So my locks, and I think you'll all agree. Ben is a lock. And this is around the whole East. So Ben, Bradley Beal, Blake Griffin, and Vucevic, whatever. They're the 4 locks. So that leaves you 3 spots. Here's the names I wrote down for those 3 spots. Kyle Lowry, Pascal Siakam, Chris Middleton, Eric Bledsoe, D'Angelo Russell, and Jimmy Butler. 3 of those 6 get in. To me, if Jimmy Butler doesn't get in, it is strictly because the coaches, that's who picks the reserves, are pissed what he did in Minnesota. Because if you're going on talent, if you're going on reputation, if you're going on production this year, Jimmy's 19, 5, 3.5, 2 steals. Jimmy's the guy over all of them, or certainly one of 3.
Okay.
If he doesn't get in, I'll understand. So for me, the 3 guys would be Butler, D'Angelo Russell's carrying that Nets team.
Killing it.
Who's
He's
killing
absolutely
it.
in.
And I probably go Middleton. He's the 2nd best player on the best team in the East. So that would be
Daryl,
my
what do you
three.
think?
2 out of the 3. 2 out
Yep.
of the 3.
Yep.
Definitely Jimmy Butler. Definitely D'Angelo Russell. I think he deserves it after all that he's been through and after he's fought through. But you know, I gotta go with Kyle.
Yeah, right.
I could imagine.
Of course you gonna go. What else you gonna go with? Like, hey,
I can't
you
go
go
against
out,
You're
that.
gonna come back and
I
visit.
go against that. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Kawhi is great. Kawhi does what he does, and he's great. But let's not ignore what Kyle is still doing up there.
Yeah.
You know,
having a
that's
monster
still
year
his-
with him, man.
Yeah, man. He is
It's
still.
great
the
when you can play with a
general
guy that
of
can
that
hit mid-range jump shots.
team.
It helps.
Yeah, it's a lost art, man.
Yeah.
It's a lost art. So.
It'll be funny because the guys that are not going to get in the West are much better than the. Like,
Absolutely.
Right.
You're going to have DeRozan not get in, Aldridge, like Tobias Harris.
Agreed.
Luka
Guys who are having
Doncic,
monster years. And I think
whatever.
Luka
I don't
absolutely should get in.
understand the 12 from each conference now that they do the draft. It's stupid. It should
Right.
be the best
There will
20.
be some probably changes coming up.
Um,
ET, do you have any closing remarks?
No, I listen. To be honest with you, I'm gonna agree here that listen, we know Ben, we know Embiid are gonna get in. Jimmy's a toss-up, and again, no matter what happens, coaches when they're making, they're all like in their own little club of coaches. They all look out for each other. They don't like what Jimmy does. And to be honest with you, people who say, "Oh, we should trade, Jimmy Butler," there ain't a whole bunch of teams kicking down the door to go get him. Why? Because they've seen what he's done now in 3 different teams, and they're not exactly running to go get that same problem on their team.
So, like you said, we've seen what Jimmy Butler can do with the Sixers, and after this 3-4 game stretch without him against some good teams, do you still think that he is a good fit on this team?
Yeah. Look, he's not the perfect guy. If I had to pick, I would have picked,
Beal?
Clay or Beal.
yeah.
I mean, they're like the perfect
not
guys
getting Clay
running around
with Beal
screens,
yet.
knocking down threes. But, it's not a perfect world. You don't just get to pick who you get.
This
And,
isn't NBA
and,
2K.
And if you didn't go get Jimmy, you might have missed out on everyone.
Right.
And people are like overreacting. I think in the 20 games that Jimmy played since he's been here, we're 19-9.
Yeah.
Like, go back to Miami. Their first 20 games together, they were 10-10 when LeBron and Wade and Butler were figuring it out. I mean, LeBron, Wade, and Bosh. Like, Jimmy's got to learn how to be the third option. He hasn't had to be that since he's 22. So everyone needs to just chill out and, take a step back. It's going to work. I think it's all overblown. I think Jimmy is a good fit, and I think that they will work it out.
And to be honest with you, I'm gonna go a step further. I think Jimmy is the second option because Ben can't shoot. Like the ball should be, the ball should work.
Their best player,
Embiid,
whatever.
Butler, Simmons in that order. And of course, Simmons is going to distribute, but the ball should be Embiid first.
In a
Butler
half-court
second.
sense, yes. When they're
Absolutely.
running, Ben is.
When the game's on the line, the ball only goes to Jimmy Butler. Nobody else should touch it.
Daryl, you're probably the best with the X's and
he
O's
agrees.
here. What do you think?
No, I think Jimmy has to stay. I don't think that there should be any question in anybody's mind that how valuable he is. He's a veteran presence. He's been around the league a few years. He plays defense. He plays defense. Like you
matters.
said, that's something we're lacking. And it's just, he represents so much of what this city is in a character standpoint. I don't think people truly understand how big a guy fitting into the culture of a team, is. And we're a city and a team that prides ourselves on toughness and playing hard and, getting gritty and not being scared to get dirt up under your fingernails. Jimmy Butler's one of the first guys in the league I think of with that. So
Let me ask you, as a guy that actually played in competitive, high-level basketball games, is it as hard as I imagine, and they kind of try to make it out to be, for a guy who's used to being the main guy to come in and be the third or to be the second? Doesn't it take time? I would think it does.
yeah, it does. It does take time. And obviously, the Sixers, they feel like they don't have a lot of that. And with a guy like Jimmy Butler, that's something you're trying to speed up. But I don't think he's opposed to that. After where his career has gone over the past couple of years, I don't think that he necessarily wants a whole bunch of change up. And like I said, that the culture thing is huge. When you're trying to win, you're not focusing on, the wins. You're focusing on your culture. And that's what the Sixers have done. They're trusting the process. So trust Jimmy.
Absolutely. Love to hear that. So that's all that we have for the main event, but we're going to move into halftime now. And
Share
here
the
is-
show.
Oh, absolutely. Share this show. If you got any questions for Daryl, let us know. We'll get to those upon further review. But right now, we're going to get to a word from today's sponsor, Indigo. right, make sure to find an Indigo bike near you. All you got to do is go outside. And before we move into college hoops, Daryl, can you tell me a little bit about the show that you host? Stay tuned with D-Ray. I see that you have some great guests, Chris Jenkins, Dante DiVincenzo, some great guys. Tell me a little bit about that.
It was just a show I decided to do this summer. I wanted to take a crack at the broadcasting thing / talk show. So, just got together with a professional on campus named Hezekiah Lewis. He helped me get all the things together in the studio. And we just shot a show. We wanted to see what it would be like if we had a talk show with, some of my former teammates and the guys who are on the team now. Really just chopping it up, talking about everything but basketball. Like I said, I always pitch it as, I had Chris on the show and I didn't ask him about the shot. We all know about the shot. Right. Everyone knows about the damn shot. And not to take anything from it, it's the greatest shot in NCAA history, but it's like, what's the story behind that, And that's what we were trying to get into.
Where do you keep the part of the net that you cut off?
Yeah, man, exactly.
Do you walk around?
Something that nobody would get a chance to ask.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
just change it up a bit.
And so if you're wondering what that looks like, we actually have a clip of that ready to play right now. Check that.
5,
Right now.
4, 3. Step a little bit.
Right there.
Left.
I'm good. Welcome back to Stay Tuned with D-Ray. We're here with Kevin Rafferty, Brandon Slater, Eric Pascal. Here with Ryan Archdiacono, Cole Swider,
Keith Jones,
Chris Jenkins, and Javon Quinterly. We're talking about his past and present of basketball. But it's time to get into something more important. The hair.
You don't got a group chat with your man? Y'all don't got a group chat?
in New Jersey, Hackensack, New Jersey.
I'm from Portsmouth, Rhode Island.
Centerville, Virginia. It's Coach Wright because
exactly. You got to go right now. You got to go right now.
All of these things, sure, they apply to basketball, but they also apply to life off the court.
I'm going to work. That's my job. That's my 9 to 5. You know, I don't go and sit behind a desk. I go to a gym.
You found something wrong with sitting behind a desk? Beautiful. I think that's a great part there.
So that was Stay Tuned with D-Ray. Some great content there. You got to make sure you go check that out. But let's hop into some college hoops now. Big Five specifically. Nova, Temple, both having pretty good years. Possibly tourney bound. How far will each of them go? Darryl, we'll start with you.
Well, you know what I'm saying.
Well, we know he's going to say about Nova. Right. Final Four or nothing. Right.
But no, Temple, I think Temple is great. I think I really would like to see this be one of those years where they, go far. That's Elite Eight, Final Four, whatever it may be. It's just, we all know who I'm choosing at the end. So I'm going to leave it at that.
It's awesome when there's multiple Philadelphia teams that are good.
Yeah.
Like, whether it's St. Joe's, like
Penn's kicking it around too.
Yeah,
You hate to see it because according to Perry, no Asians can play basketball. Michael Wang's killing it.
I didn't say that. I said professional. What I said was
in the deleted tapes. And then people going into the archive
files.
He's going to piss off the producers.
Oh, man.
That's not what I said. Play the tape back. But okay.
Yes.
Story, bro. And Temple's also having a pretty good year as well. They're winning. They actually just dropped the game to Cincinnati, but they're having a very good year themselves.
We've got a couple big time wins this year. Actually, for me, I think Temple gets at least through the first weekend, probably gets somewhere between Sweet 16, Elite 8. Nova, listen, Jay Wright just produces champions, man. That's what he does. He can lose his whole team. He can lose his whole team, come back, and the guys go 16-4, and it's just like, you know what? So you got to expect Nova to go deep.
It's a new group. Are they like gelling? Are they getting better as the season goes along?
Yeah. I mean, I think you can see it happening, right in front of you if you're watching the game. Yeah, he's a monster.
Yep.
He's a pro. Him and Eric. Like when you're watching this team. I think what happened over the past couple of years is we're used to seeing what we're seeing happen in front of us in the summer. As in the sense of the guys just kind of meshing and getting each other. This is a young group. They had to figure it out, but obviously they are. And as an alum, I hope they keep going with it.
There you go.
So our next question, now this one might get a little testy here. Do Nova's championships count for Phillies sports?
Oh, man.
Darryl, let me hear what you have to say.
They better.
I say absolutely, man. Right. Absolutely. When we came back in 2016 from the national championship, we were coming up 76, and everybody was out there, man. Everybody was out there. It kind of spooked me a little bit. It kind of looked like, remember the OJ trial when he was like going, and everybody was like up holding signs over the street. That's how it felt. Hey. But no. Because of that and because of the things like the parade, you see those turns out. I think we're definitely a Philly squad. I think Nova represents in so many ways what Philly's about. Like I said, that grit, that toughness. Our guys are first to the floor. Those things are. Is that not what Philly is? You know what I mean?
I find myself rooting for. I find myself rooting for Villanova or Temple, whoever's in it, whatever Philly school. I don't obviously feel the same connection that I do for the Eagles and the Sixers and the Phillies because I didn't go there. I went to Penn State. But, like, that's the difference is that people went to a different college. If you live in Philly, like, you root for Philly, but you might have gone to some different school other than Villanova, and so it's hard to say it's a Philly championship, but it's close enough. I mean, close enough.
I look at it like if people were going to count Penn State as a Philadelphia sports title.
No, it's not.
Listen, if Penn State were to win the national title, people in Philadelphia would be throwing a party. If you're going to do that, how do you not count Villanova, who's literally a half mile outside of city limits?
So, okay.
And by the way, Jay Wright gets a lot of love because of the fact he's had a chance to go pro and do a bunch of other things, but he's loyal to Nova.
Let me play devil's advocate a little bit here. Your coach, Jay Wright, after you guys won one of your titles, put out a tweet. I think it was the most recent one. Put out a tweet that said, taking a trip to Philadelphia, and then they went and they got Geno's of all the cheesesteaks you could have gotten in Philly.
Okay.
They got Geno's cheesesteaks.
You should have told him. You got to educate.
I mean,
especially you guys are out near Del Centro's, right? Like,
Del Centro's is 20 minutes away.
Okay, hold on. What can I attest? The first time we went, we went and got cheesesteaks from Ishkabibble's.
Okay.
So it's understood. I think it was for the sake of mixing it up, quite honestly.
Try it all.
But when he said a trip to, like you said, we're 30 minutes outside of city limits. If you want to get technical with it and speak semantics, we are outside of Philly, but we are a Philly team and a Philly, Philly sports because of what we represent.
Everybody does have to go to Geno's or Pat's at some point. I personally think Geno's a lot better than Pat's.
You have to do it. It's like, you're paying the toll. You have to
I don't want to eat cheese with steaks. Pass.
No, I'm with you. Like I said, I'm Ishkabibble's. Steak
Psychopath.
on your steak?
Yeah.
No.
You eat cheese whiz on a steak?
Oh, no.
I'm straight in the whiz.
Real cheese.
No, it's supposed to be provolone.
Seriously.
Provolone.
We got a much bigger problem than Philly sports.
Wow.
If y'all
Don't
eat cheese
don't
whiz on your steak, you get that
ketchup,
on
fried
fries.
Don't even.
Right. Cheese whiz on the
Come on.
fries.
Hey, let me know in the comments. Let us know who is right here. Come on.
If you are not eating real cheese on your cheese
Whiz
steak,
whiz.
oh my God.
All right, look. All right, moving on. We'll wrap up college hoops here. What's the biggest surprise in college hoops so far this year?
That Duke lost 2 games. When I first watched that, the first time I saw Zion and Barrett play together, and even Reddish on the side shooting, I was like, I don't know how anybody's gonna beat that team. That team could probably beat the Hawks or the Bulls or one of these. Well, no, that's not football. So they say that Bama comes here would lose by 100 points to an NFL team. In basketball, the shit teams like the Hawks, the Bulls, they don't have anybody as good as Zion. He'd be the best player on the floor. He would be.
Okay, he might be.
Zion's better
one
than
of the better
Trae
players
Young.
on the, no, he's not.
Yeah, he's a lot better.
Yeah.
He is a lot better than Trae Young.
We're gonna find out when he goes to the NBA and is that.
He
plays
is
for the
so
Hawks.
much better than Trae Young
When
right
his
this second.
athleticism doesn't get him by,
Oh,
he
you're
needs to
crazy.
start relying on other
He's
factors.
Charles Barkley before just taller.
Okay, he's a great
You're
player. He's
crazy.
a great player.
Okay,
Look,
whatever.
This is a conversation
Crazy.
for another day. ET, who you got?
Honestly, I like what Michigan State's done because a lot of people buried them, and all of a sudden they started winning games, and Izzo's got them looking like a team that can compete. I like the fact that Izzo's always been around. He's had a couple years of a hiatus, but he's got him right back in the mix, man. That's the biggest thing about college basketball. He's a great coach.
Daryl?
Got to go with Kansas.
Kansas?
Okay.
When Azubuike went down, a lot of people
Yes.
wrote that team off, because of his importance to that team, and they're just clicking. They are figuring it out. They've really meshed well. So I got to
They
go
won
with
the Big
Kansas.
12 100 years in a row.
Exactly. It's about to, and it's looking like it's about to be 101. So
Right.
I got to go with Kansas.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. Good answer. So we're now going to kick it over to our producer, Sean, see what's going on in Facebook land. Sean, what do you have for us?
Thanks, Jake. Before we get to social media, we're going to start with our favorite Super Bowl prop bet.
Ooh, Super Bowl week. A little different this year than last year.
It is.
I didn't look at the prop bets last year because I couldn't have cared less. I had a little bit bigger stuff on my mind. This year I took a look, and the one that totally jumps off the page to me, we watched him do it last year. We've watched him do it, 8 times in the past. Tom Brady's over-under passing yardage, 291.5. Like, Brady's going to throw over 300. That's a lot.
He gets that.
Over 291.5 Tom Brady passing yards. Guaranteed.
All right, so mine is a little bit different. I'm going to go Gladys Knight National Anthem over 147. I love Gladys Knight, but this might be the last national anthem she ever sings in life. She's going to sing this for all it's worth and probably stretch a couple of those high notes a little bit longer than usual. I'm going probably 210, 220.
And what's the time?
It's 147.
Ooh.
Did he steal your thunder, Daryl? It looked like you might have.
Did I take the Gladys Knight one from you? Oh, man, I'm sorry.
It's all good. That's Daryl's too. It's okay. You got to
Still
save
love
here.
Gladys.
What color Gatorade? Tell the audience what to pick.
They got to be careful. They got to be careful. I say yellow.
I was gonna say if it's the Rams, it's absolutely gonna be yellow.
Sean, next one. You got something else for us?
Yes, executive producer Zach James wants to know if the Sixers don't make a move and don't get past the second round, is Brett Brown finished in Philadelphia?
I think
the Brett Brown defender himself.
All right, everything's circumstantial. If they got swept in the second round by, let's say, Boston, I do think there's a chance Brett would go. I think there is a literally 0% chance that Philadelphia is being swept by anybody or losing in 5 to anybody. We're probably going to the Eastern Finals. But is there a scenario where Brown gets fired? Yeah. Will he? Absolutely not.
Eastern Finals, that means they're going to beat either Toronto, Milwaukee, or Boston to get there.
We're going to be the 3 seed. Oladipo got hurt, right? We're going to be the 3 seed.
Okay.
So we're going to play Milwaukee or Toronto in the second round.
Okay. Where's Boston at right now?
4, 5. Well, they're 5. They'll be 4.
Okay.
Daryl, you think he gets canned for that?
I hope not.
Yeah. I think he's a good players coach, and I think the players like him.
I would not get rid of Brett.
I like Brett Brown, but I think he's gone if the Sixers don't make the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, I agree. Sean, one more?
And our question of the week on our social media pages is, what is the best Sixers nickname of all time? Check us out on Instagram and Twitter and vote on that.
The answer, always.
All right. Well,
he's the greatest.
Dr. J's another good one.
Dr. J's a great one.
Either way, I don't think you can go wrong.
Go 100 ways.
So we're going to move on
Brown
to tap outs now. E.T. Ram out of rebound's a good one, too. E.T., what do you got for tap outs?
I'm going to kick it to Perry first.
Perry, what do you got for tap outs?
I'll go, okay. A quick, 2 totally separate things. First, I'm a 35-year-old white Jewish man. I don't do many things very athletically anymore like I did when I was 22. Believe it or not, I was a good athlete. But I still ski well, and I skied in Vermont this weekend. I still rip up the mountain, and I didn't tear an ACL, so it was very successful. Second, it is unfathomable to me how, and I didn't get a chance to do this after the nominations came out, how Bohemian Rhapsody is nominated for Best Picture is beyond me. It's a disgrace to the Academy Awards. I don't even want to watch it anymore. For that movie to be nominated for Best Picture, it wasn't even one of the 100 best pictures of the year. Stars Born's so much better than that. And look, the dude from iRobot was good in it, Rami Malek. He's good in it. Yep. It's entertaining. It's Queen songs, but it is a dog shit movie compared to other ones that go like Best Picture. So get with it, Academy. You suck.
All right, so I'm going to go with mine. I'm just glad that the government shutdown is over and that people can get back to work. Granted, it's only a couple of weeks for a stay, whatever the case may be, but there were a lot of people concerned about checks and bills and being able to get back to work no matter what the circumstance.
You go to the grocery store, you tell them, and they give you shit.
They give you free food. Tell Pico I can't pay it.
That's how it
works. The government is shut down. You know what? I'm going to try it. I'm going to call Pico and say, listen, I can't pay it. I got my government employee.
So, Daryl, tap outs, if you haven't caught the drift. 1 minute, whatever you want, off the top.
I don't even need a minute. Watch Stay Tuned with D-Ray on YouTube, man. It's
I like
on the
it.
channel, man. That's all I need. Watch Stay Tuned with D-Ray. And Stay Tuned with D-Ray.
There it is. I'll keep it nice and short. Watch Sixers and 60 every Wednesday. We put one out. It's some good content. Me and my man James Jackson breaking it down. But that is all that we have here for you.
Late night road trip this week.
Thank
Lakers,
you.
Warriors, we're coming for you. Here we go.
Thank you for watching My New Philly, where everything's always new and everything is always
new. So they lose to Golden State by 40.
No mention of James Harden scoring 87 points every night. That dude is fucking unbelievable. Look,
and he travels 35%.
I want this to come out the right way because obviously he's not the best shooting